From the Convergence Studio in the School of Communication, this is Loyola News Chicago.
Hello and welcome to Loyola News Chicago. I'm Kendall Pectus.
And I'm Kristen Jones. We begin today with concerns about crime near campus. With the recent spike in crime around Loyola's Lakeshore campus, students are asking for more safety alerts and better communication from campus safety. That's the topic of a special report in the Loyola Phoenix. Chicago police say more than 60 crimes have happened in Rogers Park area since January, including 6 sexual assaults, shootings, and robberies. The Phoenix found there were 3 sexual assaults near campus, but campus safety only alerted students to 1. In all of Rogers Park, 6 sexual assaults have been reported so far this year, double the number from this time last year. Cases of aggravated battery also doubled in January compared to last year. Megan Carabelli sat down with Phoenix reporter Jordan Berger, who says crime is up, but campus safety is doing what it can.
They want to give students all the information and they want students to be aware of what's going on, but the problem with that is they have to make sure all the information is accurate before they can give it to students. I think students have a right to know about crime that's going on in the area, and we can't protect ourselves if we don't know what's going on. We are just gonna walk down the street unaware, and everybody deserves to know exactly what's going on in their neighborhood so they can keep themselves safe.
Budget for next fall because of the upcoming tuition increase. The money will be used to buy more surveillance cameras and panic alert systems in classrooms.
Loyola students are facing a rise in tuition for next year. Loyola's president, Father Garanzini, announced the new increase in January in an email sent to students. He said the increase is needed to keep the quality of Loyola's academic programs, but that does not go beyond the cost of living. As for the breakdown, basic tuition will go up 2.5%, which is an extra $880 a year. Room and board rates will also go up, as well as a 3% increase in the student activity fee that includes services such as the U-Pass. Joe Flaherty caught up with students to find out what they think about the new added costs.
Loyola has nearly 10,000 undergraduate students, and almost all of them get some sort of financial aid. But while Loyola is ranked as one of the top value colleges by U.S. News & World Report, it is also on the list of leaving graduates with the most debt. While this latest rise in tuition is unwelcome, it comes as no surprise to most Loyola students.
It seems like every single semester since I've gotten to Loyola, we've gotten the same email that they raised tuition, so I'm honestly not surprised at all.
I hear that it increases every year. So that's a little nerve-wracking just because I do have a loan out, and if I do have to increase that, it'll kind of affect my summer plans.
Despite the increase, Loyola will provide $134 million in financial assistance. Joe Flaherty, Loyola News Chicago.
One change that may help some students, Father Garanzini noted that students can now take up to 21 hours a semester at the standard tuition rate.
If you're interested in environmental sustainability, you might have heard that Loyola Student Farm is closing down. The farm has operated in McHenry County near Woodstock since 2011. It had a large garden and served as an educational environment for students, including summer internships for students interested in sustainable agriculture. It also provided for Loyola's Retreat Center and the Rogers Park Farmers Market. The Institute for Environmental Sustainability has not given a clear reason why the farm is being shut down, except that the situation will be reassessed in 2 years. Just a week after the Department of Programming announced Kesha would headline at Colossus, the popular singer canceled her performance. Emily Olson has more on how Loyola students reacted to the news.
Tickets sold out just one day after it was announced that Kesha would be performing at Colossus this year. Unfortunately, Kesha is no longer able to attend. We asked students at Damon Student Center how they felt about the news.
A lot of people are more disappointed. They kind of already checked out of it and they're just like not interested as much anymore.
I think a lot of people who also bought the Kesha tickets are also going to switch over and buy the Big Blue. Our bosses are working kind of like really tirelessly to figure things out, but other than that, I mean, they're doing everything they can.
I was really upset because I was looking forward to seeing her, and I don't listen to her that much, and that's okay, but I just thought she'd be a really fun time.
The Department of Programming is still working on solutions. For now, it seems like Colossus tickets are still selling. Emily Olson, Loyola News Chicago.
Multiple sources report that Kesha is being treated for bulimia at a rehab center in the Chicago suburb of Lamont.
We now have the latest numbers on the people who have signed up for Obamacare. The new government figures show more than 3 million Americans have enrolled under the Affordable Care Act since last fall. 88,000 Illinois residents are part of that number, with half of them 45 or older. But the government says there's also been an increase in the number of young people signing up. In hopes of getting that number to increase even more, Illinois has teamed up with The Onion, a satirical news site geared toward people between the ages of 21 and 34. The Chicago Tribune reports that the state is paying The Onion for ads and online marketing, hoping to reach a younger audience. How would you feel if you couldn't drive down the Magnificent Mile? That part of North Michigan Avenue is one of 20 streets in Chicago that would be closed to car traffic under a proposal from the Active Transportation Alliance. They're a civic group that advocates for pedestrian and bike-friendly streets. But people we talk to closing down that part of Michigan Avenue say that it would be disastrous.
As far as the traffic, because this place, it's a lot of traffic that runs down here. And I think if you divert the traffic, it'll cause congestion in another area.
It is, and if they're going to put more traffic along the back roads, it's going to be ridiculous getting around. I work down here, and I do drive around a lot, so I don't think it's a good idea. And that's part of the fun, is driving up and down the street, I think, especially if you're a tourist.
The Transportation Alliance has given its proposal to the city, but there's no official word from the city on the next step.
A winter wonderland sounds good in theory, but not for those who need to get somewhere. Lauren Lopez reports on how this harsh winter is affecting commuters.
Although Chicago is used to rough winters, what we're experiencing now is a whole new ballgame. Nearly 60 inches of Although Chicago is used to rough winters, what we're experiencing now is a whole new ballgame. Nearly 60 inches of snow and temperatures well below average are seriously affecting the commutes of many Chicagoans, including Loyola students and staff.
It just makes me have to have more time to leave my apartment, because sometimes the shuttles are running a little later. I know the shuttles actually were being delayed for school.
I take the Metro train, and the Metro trains do not arrive on time. Sometimes they're an hour late. So there's been situations where I've been stuck inside the Arlington Heights train station with like hundreds of other people all jammed in there like sardines.
Professor Slania showed us just how much of a pain it is to stay warm.
It starts out with a fleece. You have this big, heavy coat. I call it the burglary mask. I put this hat on over it. And then finally,
unfortunately for us, Punxsutawney Phil has sentenced us to several more weeks of winter. Bundle up, Chicago. Lauren Lopez, Loyola News Chicago.
Our winter is already in the top 5 for snowiest in Chicago. The record is 80.6 inches in the winter of 1978-79.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sick of this winter, the cold temperatures. I feel like every day is a struggle when I'm walking out the door.
Absolutely, I cannot wait for spring break.
Soon enough. Well, you may be sick of the weather, but some people aren't. Coming up, find out how some people are actually skating through the cold.
And a Loyola runner reaches an important milestone with no sign of slowing down. You can still keep up with us, though, after the break.
Life is full of distractions. Some are minor. Crash, look who it is. Others are more severe.
That party was fun. I don't want you to go.
I just wanted to spend some time with my family.
Who are you talking to?
I gotta call my mom.
Jacob?
That's my mom.
Katie? Hello?
Stop.
This is your... Look at
Jacob!
Jacob!
Nick Montangelo is here with sports, so tell us about this impressive Loyola runner.
Thanks, guys. Sam Penzen-Stadler's his name, and he's a member of Loyola's track and field team. He had a major milestone at the Mayo Invitational at Notre Dame on February 8th. I got the chance to talk down to him about breaking the 4-minute mile barrier.
There are a few events in sports that only happen once in a while. A perfect game in baseball. A hole-in-one in golf. A 4-minute mile. Loyola junior Sam Penzenstadler ran in the Mayo Mile at Notre Dame on February 8th. When he crossed the finish line, he discovered that he had become the 409th American to ever break the 4-minute mile mark.
When I finished, all my teammates just came and just hugged me, and they were on the track, which they probably weren't supposed to be, and they were just running, jumping up and down. So that was just the best experience ever.
Penzenstadler's 3-minute 58-second mile was just 2 seconds slower than the fastest mile time in Loyola's history. Head coach Randy Hassenbank expects Penzenstadler's time will qualify him for the National Indoor Track Championships in New Mexico this March.
The NCAA will take in Division I athletics the top 16 competitors in each event, whether it's the 60-meter dash, the 200-meter dash, the pole vault, or the mile. So he's sitting 5th right now, and this mark at 3:58.21 has never not made the meet.
Until then, Penzenstadler is back to work, hoping to improve his already stellar time. After last weekend, he believes he can break the all-time Loyola record that has stood since 1964.
Before, I don't think that's kind of a goal that we always joked about, but now it's actually the real deal. So yeah, definitely next year I'm gonna try for that 3:56. So.
The way he's been running, he might even reach that goal this year.
The indoor track and field season runs until the national meet on March 15th. In men's basketball, the road hasn't been too kind to the Ramblers this season. The team is winless away from the Gentile Arena, but found success at home recently against the Illinois State Redbirds. Now, it may have been family day at the Joe on February 9th, but it was a bitter reunion for Loyola head coach Porter Moser. The Redbirds fired him 7 years ago, but they didn't seem too happy to see him either, going 1 for 11 from beyond the arc in the first half. Loyola junior guard Joe Chrisman scored a career-high 17 points for the Ramblers, including the final 5 in a 79-69 Loyola win. After the game, Chrisman said the time is now for the Ramblers to step it up.
We've been in every game. We're not really getting blown out by teams. We feel like this is a really big game for us. Kind of get over that hump, and we feel like down the stretch we're ready to make a run.
The season is winding down quickly. The Ramblers play in their first Missouri Valley Conference tournament, which runs March 6th through 9th in St. Louis. The men's volleyball team is back on top this week in the NCAA rankings. The Ramblers have had a strong season and have been ranked at or near the top for several weeks now. While hard work and practice are 2 important aspects of the team's game, we found out they do something else to stay on top: meditate. Senior opposite hitter Joe Smalzer and sophomore opposite hitter Thomas Jeschke both believe the meditation has had a huge impact on their game.
Absolutely, yeah, our game's definitely picked up and we're a lot more focused on the court. And I think that's partially due to the meditation that we do.
We thought it'd be good to transfer it into volleyball just because, we're always going. We never get a chance to just sit down. So it's just a nice break. We do it normally Wednesdays and then game days.
Several opportunities to watch the men play. The regular season goes through mid-April, and that's when the postseason begins. We actually are hosting the Final Four first week of May in the Gentile Arena, so that'll be really exciting.
Wow, that is something new to me. It's a lot of information for sports today. Thanks, Nick.
Of course.
The Winter Olympics just wrapped up, but if the people we talked to on campus are any indication, people are more interested in other athletic events.
Probably the Masters at Augusta in April. I'm a big golf fan, so I'm excited about that.
Not the Olympics?
Not so much. Summer Olympics I'm more interested in. I'll watch a couple skiing events and whatnot, but no, hockey's not my thing and ice skating's not my thing, so whatever.
March Madness.
March Madness?
Yeah.
Why not the Olympics?
I don't know. Especially the Winter Olympics, I just don't really get into them. You don't see the athletes year-round, so you don't really know who they are. I don't know. I can't really relate. I don't ski, I don't snowboard, none of that stuff. So.
I'm so interested in Arch Madness, which happens during our spring break. Our Missouri Valley Conference plays all the playoff games in St. Louis, and we're going down there.
Arch Madness, which Sister Jean mentioned, is the Missouri Valley Conference tournament in St. Louis, and several Loyola student journalists will be there to cover it.
This year's winter may be one for the record books, but some are saying get over the cold and have a little fun. Outdoor activities like ice skating may be the last thing on the minds of some Chicagoans, but while most people are trying to stay indoors and keep warm, others are out making the best of the cold weather.
It's fun to play in the snow. It's like beautiful with the snow on the trees.
I think it's awesome. I love the snow. I love the cold. That's why we live where there's 4 seasons, right? Gotta have all of them.
An ice rink manager says although the cold weather has hurt their businesses a little, people are still coming out and enjoying themselves. This winter has been unbearable at times, but some creatures with their own fur coats have done okay. The Lincoln Park Zoo has been open every day this season, even though zoo officials say that there's been less attendance. The last time it closed for a day was during the blizzard of 2011. The zoo has about 1,100 animals, and zookeepers have temperature range guidelines for each species. So if it's cooler outside than their natural habitats, the animals are housed indoors. And while some are enjoying their stay inside, others seem to be having their share of fun out in the snow and cold.
It's the rainbow at the end of a pot of gold for some McDonald's fans. The seasonal Shamrock shake is back. Although the mint green treat is in celebration of St. Patrick's Day, the shake is available at participating locations. That includes a McDonald's near both Lakeshore and Water Tower campus. The Shamrock shake was introduced in 1970 and it's been a big hit ever since.
Well, I think I know where I'm going after I get out of here.
Absolutely. That sounds great.
Time for a Shamrock shake for all of us.
Doesn't even matter that it's cold. It's on me.
Well, I guess it's on Kristen, so it's not on me.
Perfect.
Well, that is all for our news today. Thank you so much for watching.
We leave you today with some beautiful shots of Lake Michigan from the Lakeshore campus. See you next time.